Okay, good morning, everybody. It is May 15th, 2025, and thought I would do a quick update on where we are with Doge. Doge has been in the news a lot the last several months. Doge has been making a lot of claims about how much money they've spent, according to the Doge clock from Debt Clock. Doge is claiming they have saved about $475 billion in spending. So I wanted to compare that to what the Treasury Department is saying about American government spending. So what I did was I compared February, March, and April of 2024 to February, March, and April of 2025. The reason I left out January was that President Trump assumes office on January 20th of 2025. So the first 19 days of the month. Um, he had no authority. Doge did not have any authority. Elon Musk did not have any authority. So I'm leaving out January and just saying, okay, let's do February, March, and April. Now, normally, I would say trying to rate a new administration's budget performance based on their first 3 full months in office is just silly. They're under the other side's, under the prior administration's budget. They really don't have any impact. However, in this particular case, Elon has been saying that they have saved the money, that they have cut the spending, they've cut this, they've cut that, they fired this person, they fired that person, they've gotten rid of this, they've gotten rid of that. He is not saying that these are things that are going to happen. He is saying that these are things that have happened. So, in other words, past tense. So, what I'm trying to do is say, okay, what does the budget show? What the budget shows, if you can go and check the United States Treasury Department does a monthly receipt that you can look at, a monthly statement, so you can check the numbers yourself. Um, in that 90-day period, February, March, and April 2024, we spent a total of $1,703 billion. In that same period in 2025, with Doge, with Trump, all that stuff, 1,723 billion. So our spending is actually up in the same time period by about $20 billion. In terms of is Doge actually cutting government spending? No. Now, again, they're not. What Elon has been claiming is that these cuts have been made and they are already in effect. He is not saying, well, this will show up in the next budget or this will show up in 2 years, saying this is happening now. And the answer is no. Government spending has gone up, admittedly very slightly, but it is overall up. Another thing I want to talk about real quick is the PPI. That is essentially producer inflation. In other words, if you're in the production side of things, you may remember in a prior video, I talked about what I thought was that we may see short-term deflation because there are so many imports pouring into the country right now. Everyone was trying to get ahead of Trump's tariffs. So, January, February, March, huge influx of imports as everyone tried to get ahead of the tariffs. Well, that's exactly what just popped up. PPI came in negative. It was about zero, month over month was about negative 0.5. So we have actually begun a deflationary phase. Now, as you may remember from my prediction, I said I thought it would be short term, and then sometime later this year we would switch to an inflationary phase. We have to wait and see if I'm right about that. But yes, apparently I called it and was correct that we are now in the deflationary part. Uh, I would argue that that is because of the huge surge of imports. Another thing to do is I want to do a quick shipping update. What is going on with America's ports? As you know, there had been a huge drop off in container volume coming from China specifically and Asia in general to America's ports. That happened. We are going to have supply chain shortages. However, now that Trump has rolled back his tariffs to 30%, but only on a 90-day pause, been reading through the shipping numbers, and basically every company in America that imports from China is trying to front run the next round of potential tariffs with China, and they are importing everything they can. So what we are about to see is another surge of imports from China. So the funny thing about this is, imagine what we've got is big surge in imports, big drop off, and then another big surge. So we're going to have a lot of volatility with supply chains. This may mean that what we may flip back and forth from is deflation to inflation. How will it all net itself out over time? Man, I have no idea. What we're seeing very consistently is that with Trump radically changing policy week to week, day to day, sometimes hour to hour, is all of these convulsions going through our economy, and this is changing and that's changing, and then this is changing back, and now it's changing back part of the way. Now it's changing back to the original change. Um, Imagine you're at a pond and someone's throwing stones in it. You get ripples coming out. You throw a stone and a bunch of ripples going. Throw another stone, bunch of ripples. These ripples are going to start colliding with each other. Actually, frankly, right about now, probably should be the first collisions. These collisions will continue for months. What is going to be the net result of everything? You know, is in okay. Well, when I take the impact of this ripple, and I take the impact of that ripple, and I net everything out. What's the net result? No clue. Again, for the short term, I think we're looking at some deflation. We may very well be looking at a flipping back and forth between deflation and inflation over the next several months. I don't really know that. That's not a hard prediction. I'm just saying I would not be surprised if that happened. But going back to the original point, we are spending more money. And if you're following the budget bill that is currently trying to work its way through the House, our debt and deficit's not getting any better anytime soon. In fact, I'll tell you, in my opinion, it's never going to get better. We're going to go bankrupt sometime in the early to mid 2030s. There appears to be bipartisan consensus to do that. That is a problem for future Americans. That is not a problem for us. Now, granted, we will all be there when that problem occurs. I'm 45. I will be there. If you're much under the age of 60, pretty much guarantee you're going to be there and you're going to be in your working life when it happens, or very early retirement. You know, if you're over about 70, maybe you don't have too much to worry about. If you're 60 to 70, it's just going to depend on your circumstances. But yes, we are absolutely hurtling toward national bankruptcy, and DOGE is not going to save us. That is absolutely not going to happen. Elon Musk will be leaving DOGE fairly soon, sometime in the next few weeks to few months, and because Tesla's dying. I mean, it really is. He decided to go on Twitter and attack all the people who bought his cars, and it turns out that was a bad business strategy. Sorry, I know I'm kind of going around here, but the point is that on a data update, we are spending more money than we were before, albeit marginally. We are seeing deflation begin to pop up because of the huge surge in imports. And, oh, sorry, real quick, unemployment, initial jobless claims came out. They were slightly, and I want to emphasize slightly elevated to where they were before. Our employment sector is cooling off. The labor market is softening very slowly, nothing dramatic. Right now it's overall still quite healthy, but it is trending in the direction of higher unemployment. And if you look at the hiring numbers, companies are not hiring. They're not laying a lot of people off, but they are not hiring right now. Now, again, Trump is swinging his baseball bat all over the place, kind of smashing everything. Where is this all going to land? Again, I don't know. He makes major policy decisions on a whim practically every day, and they are all different. So there's no way to predict what he's going to do next, or how all this is going to happen. This is a level of chaos that I don't have any model or anything I can look at. There may be one out there. There may be some macroeconomist or something, who's got a model for this. And if so, I'd love to know about him or her. But it is definitely not me. By the way, for those wondering, I'm an attorney. That's what I do. So either way, hope everyone has a great day, and go out and enjoy the end of spring and beginning of summer, and don't worry about all this because there ain't a whole heck of a lot any of us can do about it anyway. All right, bye bye.